You know, these guys here in Peru, this is just in Peru, right? The money just disappears into who knows what. They have big concerts to distract everybody. Finally, they'll do something in the street to kind of pretend that they're putting the money towards some use. Yet there's a hospital that's half built. There's still files in there. It's just there's stuff that drives me crazy, and it gets stressful. It gets annoying, you know. And Americans are not doing much better. There's a lot of corruption there, but it's like the weight of it has been put onto you and the people, you know, and through credit and through all these ways, deceptive. When have we had enough? When have we said no? You know, and the people here in Peru, sometimes they don't have a ton to lose. So actually, I've been in a couple protests that have lasted months, and they shut down the street, and you know, all this stuff happens, but then eventually nothing. It's very hard to tackle a government, you know, and overtake it or whatever. And who's to say that the next psychopath who gets into power isn't doing the same thing? That's why good, genuine people who don't really care about that type of stuff need to actually take some kind of action of some kind. I'm not saying like some crazy stuff, right? Because I don't know if that works. But at least up here in the mind, and people really need to start thinking about this. What kind of world do we really want to start getting into? You know, like in the next 20 years, like I don't want to live in a world that's completely dominated by cameras everywhere, facial recognition, and all this stuff like what's happening in the United States. And then here in Peru, I kind of came here to a native reservation practically to get away from all that, but yet there's no law. there's like no you know, people just ride around like there's just no care in the world, and there's all these accidents and stuff. I also don't want to bring children into a world like this. So where's the equilibrium? Where's the balance that we need to find? You know, do we need to find it inside of here and inside of here and in our hearts, and not just give all of our power over to somebody? You know, even though I like the guy, you know, it's like there's nobody outside of us. We need to at least fix the government within ourselves, the government within our own bodies and minds. Easier said than done. I get it. I know. I'm just so bored now at this point in my life. I don't know what else to do. I've seen it all. Heaven, hell, earth, you know, everything kind of, pretty much. And I want a new world. I want a new system, because it's like, I think when you die, it's great. I really do. But also, I think we come here for a reason, to also try to make some kind of change beforehand. And then when we get here, we completely forget, you know. But why not? What else you got to do? What else we got to do? So